could the greatest rock and roll star in the world, quite literally, Elvis Presley, ever have had the opportunity to leave Our Majesty the Queen, our late and wonderful monarch, Queen Elizabeth II, truly all shook up? As ever, let me reveal. Hi, good morning, Neil Sean here in the very heart of London. And as ever, very nice to have your company today, whatever you're doing. Also, thank you for your lovely comments regarding some of the recent videos. I'm glad the particular McDonald's video resonated with so many people. It's not just about McDonald's, it's about all companies that are very slyly moving away from giving you your change. Have you noticed that? And also the reduced stickers that they conveniently forget to scan through and put products through at full price. Can't highlight that enough to you about how you should check everything that you put through the till if you're not doing it manually, and indeed when you're doing it yourself. So many rip-offs right now. It's so, it's good to share because it's clearly not just here in the United Kingdom. Back as ever though to your breaking royal story of the day. Literally, as we know, the King, Elvis, I mean, what a guy, Everybody who's met him along the way have said the same thing. And as we shared with you with that wonderful video, I don't know if you've seen it yet, with the brilliant entertainer Amy Macdonald, she was just transfixed by him, of course, as so many people were, because he was of that particular era, the very first big international rock and roll star. But it does appear, according to very good sources, and as ever, past interviews that I've undertaken, that the King himself could have had the opportunity to appear, should I say, of our wonderful late monarch and the Duke of Edinburgh. As way back as 1962, they were in talks trying to get Elvis to come over, particularly via Paramount Pictures, because of course he had a string of hit movies with them, and they felt on the international stage this would do incredibly well. And of course you could imagine just the riot, the scenes that would have happened, particularly if the King of Rock and Roll had a hit town. Remember, this is pre-Beatles. Now the Beatles appeared at the Royal Variety Performance in 1963 at the Prince of Wales Theatre alongside the brilliant Hollywood star Marlene Dietrich. And what's interesting here, I think in particular, is this. You see, Elvis apparently then had said to his manager and to the team back here in England, he'd seen the reaction. He didn't think that rock and roll would go down that, that well with a royal audience. And then apparently he was very interested again. Now, as we know, his manager, Colonel Tom Parker, wasn't very keen on Elvis traveling anywhere outside the United States for obvious reasons now well documented. But even in the very final year of his life, there were negotiations because once again, Elvis had seen the idea of performing in front of the royals on the Silver Jubilee. He thought this was a great move. And of course, many people over here, particularly the likes of Bernard Delfont, Prince Slipper, all of those great people who put together the Royal Variety Show. And also, let's not forget that people like Liberace, a good friend of Elvis, had spoken quite openly about what a magnificent event it was. Everybody really enjoyed their experience. So allegedly, Elvis was very keen. Sadly, of course, time takes over and we lost him on this week, in 1977. But I've often wondered, and I put this to Priscilla Presley, that things may have been differently had he lived. And she intimated to me that Elvis, and she knew this story too, was very keen, in fact, to appear in front of British royalty. Can you imagine what that would have been like on that particular Silver Jubilee year? It's all about the what ifs and, what should have happened, isn't it? But for many, Elvis remains quite simply the King of Rock and Roll. And I know for a fact that Her Majesty the Queen, the Duke of Edinburgh, alongside her younger sister, Princess Margaret, truly enjoyed his music. Such a shame it never truly happened. Neil Sean in the very heart of London.